let's just take a look at some of the fun elements that are being shown here. So this dynamic video that instantly grabs your attention. They've got split screen, kind of grid-like layouts, cool color palette and logos and fonts and good hierarchy, and then a lot of really striking visuals, and then kind of interactive elements where you can click through all of these different flavors and click on the buttons to go to different pages and all of that. So I really want to be able to replicate even the footers down here and this cool little interaction, we'll call it here. It kind of feels like a carousel. So before I get into designing, I am going to show you what I came up with though. So this is my course. Did you even notice that I clicked or that anything changed? This is the website. This is my course. The website, my course. So it's pretty similar. It's not exact down to the pixel, but it is pretty close and I'm pretty proud of that. So let's talk about what I did at first. So up at the top in the OLIPOP website, they have this little call out for a discount code. So this is a pretty easy thing that we can add to make it feel very website-like. Just add in a paragraph block and then color it that background green color. Add in a fun hyperlink that can link to a Shop Now page. I pulled that link from their website, so it is the correct link. And then I also added in the correct font. So let's dive in here. Let's go into edit. And things are moving a little slow, so we'll be patient. But you can see I've got that paragraph, centered that text. And using Mighty, you can see that I'm using the font Teacher. I noticed this isn't their exact brand font, but it's pretty similar, so I went ahead and used it, and it's doing a great job. So let's look at this next part, the OLIPOP navigation. So up here, it's really clean, it's awesome. Websites always have these fun navigation tabs, so you can go to different pages. In Rise, how often do we use that? For me, probably never. So this is a fun thing to try and do. I really wanted to get this layout, but I found that it just wasn't quite possible yet with Rise or with Mighty, but I did come up with another solution. So I decided to break up these two blocks here. So you can see I added in my logo as a labeled graphic. And if you don't know that fun trick, you just add your image. The dimensions that I used were about 2,000 pixels wide, 80 high, and that fit pretty well for the dimensions in Rise. And you can see if I go into these formatting settings that I have the image set to full width. I took off any hotspots in the image so there wouldn't be anything that was clickable. I'm going to take off the zoom on image click also, so it's not interactive in any way, and then it's good to go. I make sure that it is a transparent image too, so that I can change the background color however I need. And that's how we have that logo in there. Then I started to look at how can I do the navigation. This might be a little tricky. So you see in the original course, things are aligned all the way on the left, and I love that so much. But that was a little tricky. We do have those settings if you wanted to do a text block, and you could change it all the way to the left and do wide, but it's still not really as far over as I wanted. If I were to do one link, I don't know, it just wasn't quite working. But I did think of using the columns, and I set it to 4 so that I could put in 4 different links here, and then I linked the pages right there as well. And so I could also, using Mighty, change this however I wanted. Make it a little bigger, make it bold, whatever I want, change the font, but I was trying to make it look as similar to the website as I could, so I stuck with these settings. And then of course, I wasn't quite able to get the shop and the profile and find in store, but I will say this worked for me, and this is more of a practical application, I think, too, for Rise courses, where we could link these we could create links like even buttons, interactive buttons that link to different pages in the course, or we could use these links to link up to other resources or something too. So while making this look just like the OLIPOP website, I did also want to make it look a lot like a Rise course and a practical application of things and design tips that we can apply to our courses too. So we're not just trying to make a website look, we are also trying to make practical applications for our RISE courses in the future. So there's that fun navigation up at the top.